Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be discussing how to calculate the mole. So in my last video I talked to you about what the mole was and what Avogadro's constant was and how it really helps us to understand what sort of quantity we're talking about. So if you don't know this, the mole, please look at my previous video. Now, the reason why we want to work out the mole is because it really helps us to bridge the gap between what's happening in the lab to what could be happening in industry. So remember, chemists do all sorts of jobs. They don't just sit around in a lab playing around. In fact, what they do is a really important job: production of medication, production of substances. And if you can really move from small, tiny substances and their amounts to large substances and their amounts, so we're talking about tons and many millions and millions of litres of substances, then you really need to know how many particles you're dealing with and how many moles you're dealing with. Okay, so let's introduce really quickly a simple equation that you need to know. The equation to work out moles is moles equals mass divided by the relative molecular mass, better known as the MR. Okay, so this is a pretty straightforward equation. You can also put it into a formula triangle. I know some of you do like to use these in maths. However, I would say please try and practice rearranging equations, because in an exam situation sometimes it's really difficult to try and work out where everything would go in a triangle, right? So mass would be here at the top, moles here, and then your MR here. Okay, now remember, your MR is worked out using the information from the periodic table, so you need to use the atomic mass number there. Okay, work out your totals. The sides tell you to divide, and along the bottom it's to multiply. So if I wanted to work out my number of moles, put my finger there, it's mass divided by the MR, and that definitely works because it matches and complements this. If I wanted to work out the mass, you get the idea, it's moles multiplied by the MR. So let's have a look at a typical question. Okay, so question 1, calculate the mass of 0.25 moles. Now that's the units, remember, of moles. It's just a thing in chemistry, we take the E off just to keep things a little bit exciting, of carbon dioxide. And I already know what the MR is, so calculate the mass of 0.25 moles of carbon dioxide molecules, MR being 44. Now, as a quick reminder, the 44 comes from the atomic mass of carbon, and you have to add it to 2 atoms, remember, of oxygen, and that gives you the 44 value. Okay, so let's have a look at our question. What are we given? We are given the number of moles, 0.25. We are also given the MR, 44. So let's put this into our equation. So we need to work out the mass. So mass is moles multiplied by the MR. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So mass is 0.25 multiplied by 44, and that gives you 11 grams. Okay, so this means in 0.25 moles of carbon dioxide, this would all weigh up to 11 grams. So this is how much I would be expecting. And then obviously you can work backwards and work out the number of particles within them using Avogadro's constant. Okay, so it all ties in. Now, sometimes you may not be given the question relating to a molecule, it may actually be just an atom. So let's have a simple example of this one. Shall we choose, let's choose iron. So calculate the mass of 0.10 moles of iron, and then the chemical symbol is, yes, you've guessed it, Fe. Okay, and Fe, the atomic mass, is 56. All right, so we are now going to just write out our equation really quickly. Mass, here we are, remember our triangle, moles times not the MR is going to be the AR, okay? Times by the AR, and let's write it here, 0.10, make that a little bit clearer, multiplied by 56, and because we are working out the mass, the answer will also be in grams. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, so you may actually think, well, would I really get such simple exam questions? Of course you will. They won't just be simple as in this is one style, this is one style. Often they can be multi-step questions, so you may be asked to work out, for example, the MR, and then you may need to work out the mass, or you may be able to work out something else. For example, like you may have to work out the moles. Okay, so there are different variations of questions depending if it's higher or foundation. You will be able to have different elements of these within there. Oh, science joke, do you get it? Elements. Okay, let's go really quickly. Last example, question 3. Calculate the number of moles in water. Now remember, we talked about this in a previous clip. Water is H2O, that is the molecular formula. So we're looking at MR, we need to work this out. So we have 1 plus 1, add 16, so 16 from there, and then obviously the 1 plus 1, you could also obviously do 1 times 2, that gives us the value of 18. So we want the number of moles. Let's go back to our triangle, so cover up moles, the equation is mass divided by the MR. So our mass, which I didn't give you in the question, I'm going to write it on now. Let's choose 26 grams. So 26 divided by 18, and then we get 1.4. Now remember, units for moles, really easy, MOL. Okay, so here we are, really nice quick overview of how to calculate the mole and how to calculate the mass given these simple questions. And remember, these calculations are super important for us to be able to upscale any of the substances that we'd like to make, ranging from medicine to beauty to health, from the lab to industry, and get them into places like Boots, or get them into really huge chemical companies and pharmacies and lots and lots of manufacturers. I hope you found this video useful and helpful. Please like my video, don't forget to subscribe, and please do leave a comment. Tell me what you found helpful, or maybe even something you'd like me to change, and let me know which topic you'd like me to cover next. Thank you.